This is the second video as part of two videos covering operations with directed numbers. In this video, I'm going to look at multiplying and dividing with directed numbers. So again, I'm going to look at patterns and use the knowledge we already have with multiplying and division to get the outcome that we want. So let's have a look at something really straightforward. 2 times 3, which we know is 6. 2 times 2, so we are decreasing what we're multiplying by 1 unit. That gives me 4 because it's lots of 2's. This is going to decrease by 2. 2 times 1, another decrease by 2. We know 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 0 is 0. So my numbers have decreased by 1 at every stage. So what happens when I go 1 below 0? 2 times negative 1. If I follow the pattern here, from my last video I know that 0 take away 2 means moving to the left 2 units, and that should take me to negative 2. 2 times negative 2 results in negative 4. So now, using this knowledge, I can apply it to other numbers such as 3 times negative 5. Having a look at what I had in these two cases, it's like you're just multiplying 2 by 2. And the positive number multiplied by a negative number resulted in a negative. The positive number multiplied by a negative number resulted in a negative. So here I have a positive number multiplied by a negative. 3 times 5 is 15. That's negative 15. What about 7 times negative 3? Well, 7 times 3, 21. Positive number, negative number. The outcome is negative. As a matter of fact, I could do the pattern slightly different, and you'll see that the outcome will be the same. If I had 2 times 3, we already did that, that was 6. Now I'm going to change the first number, reduce it by 1. 1 times 3 is 3. That was a reduction of 3. 0 times 3, we know that's 0. That's another subtraction, reduction of 3. So negative 1 times 3, if I follow that pattern, should be negative 3. And negative 2 times 3 gives me negative 6 following the pattern. So, going on that, if I have negative 5 times 3, 5 times 3 is 15, a negative and a positive results in negative, and I just write that a little bit neater, negative 15. Or same as before, what if I had negative 7 times positive 3? 3 times 7, 21, a negative times by a positive results in a negative. Alright. So that's the situation when I multiply a negative number by a positive number. The outcome, and I lost my negative sign here, the outcome is going to be negative. The numbers multiply normal, and I just have to be aware of what's happening with the signs. But what about if I multiply two negative numbers by each other? So let's have a look at negative 3 times 2. Well, we know from what we just covered that's negative 6. Negative 3 times 1, again we just did that. 3 times 1 is 3, negative positive results in a negative. Negative 3 times 0, we know anything times 0 is 0. And what is happening here? What is my pattern? Are we going down by 3 or up by 3? Let's do that on a number line. First number here, first answer was negative 6. Next answer was -3, and the last answer was 0. So actually, even though it looks like 3 is smaller than 6, -6 is actually smaller than -3, because as we move to the right and values get larger, when we move to the left our values get smaller. Our number line, remember, if I've got 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, the numbers are getting larger. -1, -2, -3, moving that way, the numbers are getting smaller. Okay, so these are still reductions, increases of 3. We are increasing by 3 from -6 to -3 to 0. So following that pattern, the next stop should be 3. Looking at the pattern here on the left, -3 times -1 gives me +3. -3 times -2 gives me +6. So a negative multiplied by a negative resulted in a positive. Looking at looking at 2 more examples. 7 times 3, we know that's 21. -7 times 3, we did that earlier, that was -21. 7 times -3, that gave us -21 as well. And now -7 times -3 gives me +21. -10 times -1, 10 times 1 is 10, a negative and a negative results in an outcome of positive number. So my discovery is that we already knew positive number multiplied by a positive number results in a positive number. Now I've discovered also negative number times a negative number results in a positive number. But if the signs of the two numbers being multiplied are different, the result is negative. Now, this is very similar to the situation where I had 2 minuses next to each other, 2 pluses next to each other from our last video that resulted in being replaced with a positives or an addition. And if I had a plus followed by a minus or a minus followed by a plus, we replaced it with a minus. One thing to watch out for, a really common mistake, students early on when they're doing this work consistently make this error. They get used to this idea of negative times positive and see this and apply it here. You can't apply it here. The rule that we just discovered was for when we were multiplying two numbers together. In this case, in my new case, I am looking at starting at -3 on my number line and then adding 4. Talking about this in money sense, my bank account has -$3 in it. That is, I owe the bank $3. I put in $4. $3 covers what I owed, so what the amount of money now that I have to spend is $1. So just be careful. The answer to this is not 3 plus 4, 7 with a minus in front. That is incorrect.